Hi everyone, this is the second video of the topic operators and expressions. So if you haven't watched the previous one, I suggest that you do so because there is an exercise at the end of this video which is based on both the videos. So let's continue with this one. Now, what is operator precedence and associativity? So what is operator precedence and associativity? So let's understand these two terms. Now, precedence basically means the order. Okay, prior, basic English meaning is order, or the like if it comes before, so that is precedence. Okay, so what is operator precedence and associativity? Operator precedence determines the order in which operators in an expression are evaluated. So it basically, in simple words, it means that what is the order in which the operators will be evaluated. If we have different operators in an expression, what is the order in which they will be evaluated? And what is associativity? So when the operators in an expression have the same precedence, that means if they have the same order, then how do we decide which operator will be evaluated first? So in that case, associativity rules determine the order of operations. Okay, so that means the associativity rule will determine which operator will be evaluated first in an expression. So let's understand this through an example. So let's suppose we have an expression here: a is equal to b plus c minus d. Now here plus and minus have the same operator precedence. That means they are at the same level. So which operator will be in this case? It is an expression where we have two operators, plus and minus, and both have the same precedence. So in which order will they be evaluated? So here we'll start from, so it starts from left to right. So that means first it will do b plus c and then it will subtract d from the result. But if you want to override or change this rule, then we can, put brackets around this. So here we are associating. So we have, associativity rule. That means we are deciding here that we put the brackets here. So we change the order. So now we are dictating that first you do c minus d, and then whatever is the result will be added to b. So this is what operator precedence and associativity rules are. Okay. Now moving on. What is an expression? Now, an expression is a legal combination of tokens. Okay, as simple as this. An expression is a legal combination of tokens. Now, what are tokens? So, if you remember in the previous video, I explained what tokens are. Basically, tokens, smallest individual unit in a program. So that means we have keywords which are tokens, we have operators which are tokens, identifiers are tokens, separators or punctuators are tokens. So these are some of the tokens. So here, what is a legal? So it is a legal combination of tokens. That means which tokens we are talking about here. Obviously we have some operands here and the operators here. So an expression involves operands and the operators. Operator is a token, okay, and these operands, of course, they are also tokens because they are identifiers. They are the names which we give to a variable. So expression is a legal combination of tokens. So this is an expression where we can have as many operators or operands as we want. Now next comes, what is a pure expression? Now now that we've understood what an expression is, a pure expression where all the operands are of the same data type. That means it is an expression wherein all the operands would be of same single data type. So if you see this expression here, we have A, B, C and D. 4 operands are there. Now what is the data type of A, B, C and D here? If you see, int. All the 4 operands which we are using in this expression are of the same data type, int. So it is a pure expression. On the other hand, a mixed expression will have operands of different data types. So if you see this expression here, E is equal to A plus B minus D. What is the data type of D? Double. What is the data type of A and B? Int. What is the data type of E? That is double. So we have an expression here in which some of the operands are of int data type and some of the operands are of double data type. So it is a mixed expression. Okay. Now we move on to the next question, which is, what is type conversion? Another very important question. Type conversion, and children or the students generally have a difficulty understanding what is a type conversion and the types of type conversion. So let's discuss that. The process of, firstly, to understand the definition, what is type conversion? Type here basically means data type. So the process of converting one predefined data type into another is called type conversion. What are predefined data types? The primitive data types. So the process of converting one predefined data type into another is called type conversion. And there are 2 types of type conversions. Remember, implicit means implied and explicit means directly. Okay, so implicit and explicit. Now we will understand what is an implicit conversion and what is an explicit conversion. Okay, so the difference between implicit and explicit type conversion. Implicit or the implied type conversion is performed by Java compiler. It is also known as coercion or type promotion. And in this type of conversion, smaller data types are promoted to bigger data types. On the other hand, an explicit type conversion is performed by the programmer. An explicit type conversion is performed by the programmer. Okay, and it is also known as typecasting. It uses the cast operator. Now if you see the difference, this is performed by the programmer, this is performed by Java compiler. It is also known as coercion or type promotion. It is also known as typecasting, and it uses the cast operator. Now what is a cast operator? A cast operator is these round parentheses, and within the round parentheses we have some data type. So that would be a cast operator. Okay, within the round parentheses we have some data type. Okay, so that is a cast operator. Now let's understand what is with an example what is a type conversion and what is an explicit type conversion. So if you see here, we have a variable int a is equal to 5 and we have a double variable d. So when I write d is equal to a, now a is an integer, d is a double, so d is getting the value, or we are assigning the value of a to d. We are assigning the value of a to d. A is a smaller data type, D is a bigger data type. So we are moving from a smaller to a bigger data type. Smaller data types are promoted to bigger data types. So that is why it is an implicit type conversion, which is automatically performed by Java compiler. Okay, now here had we, instead of an int variable occupies 4 bytes in the memory and a double occupies 8 bytes in the memory, but if instead of double had we had a float here, still it would be a implicit type conversion, because float data type is a bigger data type than a int data type. Now here on the other hand, what we are doing is we have an int variable and we have a double variable, and we are trying to store the double value in an int value. So integers cannot hold decimal points, so that is why there will be loss of data. So we need to cast this int, this double to int. So we have used the cast operator here, parenthesis, and within the cast we want to mention the type in which we want to convert it. So d is a double, we want to convert this double data type into int because we are storing it in int. So this is the cast operator. So now after this the value of a would be 5. This decimal part would be discarded. Okay, now let's move on to the next. Okay, what is a cast operator? Now we have already discussed it. This round parenthesis and data type, this is known as cast operator, and it is a unary operator because it needs only one operand. So it is a unary operator, and it is used by the programmer to perform explicit type conversion. We have already seen this in the previous question, that it is used by the programmer to perform explicit type conversion. What are Boolean expressions? The expressions that give the result in the form of true or false are called Boolean expressions. So the result of a Boolean expression would be either true or false. So the expressions that give the result, it's not if, it's in. So the expressions which give the result in the form of true or false, this should be in. Okay, so the expressions that give the result in the form of true or false are called Boolean expressions. Okay, now we move on to the next. Here are some differences which we will take up, and these are very important from the board exam point of view. First difference which normally comes is the difference between this division and modulus operator. So remember the difference between a division and a modulus operator. Here firstly we can say that this slash symbol is a division operator and this percentage symbol is a modulus operator. So we are giving the names of the operators here. Then we will say slash gives the quotient of the division, whereas modulus gives the remainder of the division. Okay. Now the second difference is the difference between a single equal to and a double equal to. Okay. Single equal to is an assignment operator. It assigns the value to a variable, whereas double equal to is an equality operator and it is a relational operator. So we can write in the bracket that it is a relational operator. Now the second point can be single equal to is used to assign the value to a variable, and we can show through an example. Int a is equal to 5, whereas double equal to returns true if one value is equal to the other. Okay, so that means if the two values compared are equal, it returns true, else it returns false. So let's take this example. Int a is equal to 5 and b is equal to 5. In this case, the value of both a and b is 5. So if we write a is equal to b, it will return true because both the values are equal. Okay. Now the next is, what is the difference between a pure and a mixed expression? So this we have already discussed in the in the previous questions. So you can write those points only. Again, implicit and explicit type conversions have already been discussed. Now the next is prefix and postfix operators. Again, important. Prefix operators will follow change then use rule. Okay, so just write it like this. It follows change then use rule, whereas postfix operator follows use then change rule. Okay, and the prefix operators, here the operator comes before the operand. So if you see here plus a, so it is a prefix operator. So the operator plus is coming before the operand a, whereas in the postfix the operator comes after the operand. So if you see this example a plus, so the plus operator is coming after the operand. So these are the two differences for prefix and postfix. Now print and println. What is the difference between a print method and the println method? So here the print, when we say the print method, the cursor remains on the same line after printing the string, whereas for the print line, it moves the cursor to the next line after printing the string. Okay, and the next is the exercise. Okay, so let's take up this exercise. Now these are some of the questions which we'll discuss here. So what does the following mean? So here we have written vehicle car is equal to new vehicle. So what do you think is happening here? So in a question like this, what we'll write as an answer is that here we are creating an instance of the vehicle class called car, and we are allocating memory to this object, car object. Okay, so I'll repeat the answer again. Here we are creating an instance of the class called vehicle, and the instance name is car, and we are also allocating memory to the object called car. Next, what is the use and syntax of a ternary operator? The syntax of ternary operator we have already discussed. And what is the use of ternary operator? Here we can write that it can be used in place of if else, as it offers more concise and compact code. Okay, what will be the value of a? Now if you see this, we have a boolean variable. The data type of a is boolean. It is given to us and we have this expression. So let's evaluate it. This is the condition. Is the condition true? Yes, 45 is greater than 26. So if the condition is true, that means this part before the colon is evaluated will be the answer. So the value of a after this expression is evaluated would be true. And because it is a boolean value, so we do not put double quotes around it. Okay. What types of conversions are these? Now if you see the first example, here we have a double data type a, and we are storing the value of a in an int. So which operator is this? Cast. So what type of conversion is this? So this is an explicit type conversion, or this is also typecasting. If you see the second one, we have x and we have a long. We are storing the value of int x in a long variable. So we are moving from a smaller data type to a bigger data type. So this is an implicit type conversion. Okay. Well, next is arrange the operators in order of higher to lower precedence. Now here we should know what is the precedence or what is the order in which the operators are evaluated. So just remember a few points here. These are the four operators which we have to order. They have given us logical and, modulus, greater than equal to, and plus plus. So what is the order of evaluation? What is the order? Which operator has got the highest precedence here? So we have to arrange it in that order. So if I've given you a hint here, the plus plus, that means the prefix and the postfix operators have the highest precedence, followed by multiplication, division, and modulation. The modulus operator, they are at the same level. After that, plus and minus, that addition and subtraction, again at the same level, but after this second point. Okay, then fourth, we have the relational operators, greater than, less than, greater than equal to, less than equal to, which have the at the same level, all the relational operators, but after plus and minus, addition and subtraction. Afterwards is the precedence. After this is the order of like logical and, then we have logical or, and the lowest precedence is of the ternary operator. So if you see here, this firstly it will be if you write the order of precedence here, the first would be plus plus. It has got the highest precedence. Then after that, the modulus operator. Then would be third would be greater than equal to, and fourth would be and. So I hope this video was useful, and thanks, and keep watching estudy.in. And if you have any comments, please do so. Please, if you have any queries, please leave the queries in the comments section, and I'll try to take up your comments or your queries as early as possible. Thanks for watching estudy.in.